Scotland, the nation that brought you golf, television, the steam engine, and whiskey. We invented haggis, the Tunnocks tea cake, awesome, iron brew, shortbread, and of course, the deep fried Mars bar, not very awesome. We play bagpipes, our men wear kilts, and we have some of the greatest people on earth. Welcome to Scotland.
Weather.
Cold, dull, miserable, and windy. But enough about my ex-mother-in-law, we're here to talk about Scotland. You may be wondering where to go on your next holiday. Well, if that holiday has to be warm and sunny, the answer is definitely not Scotland. We may have some of the finest culture and scenery in the world, but scratch beneath the surface and you'll find we also have much of the same weather in summer as we do in winter. And then there's the day in summer, where you get all 4 seasons of weather in one. That's right, it's called every day. So, if you like your weather like you like your sex, wild, unpredictable, and sometimes disappointing, then you'll love Scotland.
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh was recently voted one of Europe's friendliest cities, and it's not difficult to see why. Home to the castle, the Fringe Festival, and shortbread, it's a great place to bring your family, unless you're Joseph Fritzl. Of course, the very best way to see Edinburgh is by foot. As you casually wander the winding, cobbled streets, you may start to hear something that sounds like someone fucking a cat. Relax, this is none other than Scotland's famous bagpipes. I may lack the craftsmanship of the violin, the finesse of the piano, or indeed the sound of a musical instrument. But there's no doubt, no matter where you are in the world, when you hear that first note, it really does send a shiver down your spine.
When it comes to shopping, forget Oxford Street. Here in Edinburgh, you can find all the top designer outlets. Although if you're feeling really adventurous, you can always get measured up for a more authentic Scottish look. Glasgow.
Run down, dirty, and riddled with disease. No, wait, sorry. That's my ex-mother-in-law again. We're here to talk about Glasgow. You wouldn't think that Glasgow is one of the top 10 holiday destinations in Europe. And you'd be right. But look a bit closer and you'll find Glasgow has much of the same things as you'll find abroad. Viewed by some as the armpit of Scotland, Glasgow once had a reputation as the knife capital of Europe. Going out at night was often considered riskier than Rolf Harris handing his laptop in for a service. But with the likes of the Commonwealth Games and a grassroots campaign to stamp out violence, Glasgow is now a thriving and prosperous city. Even local priests are keen to get involved in educating the younger generation. Food and drink. They say traditional cooking comes from the heart, but here in Scotland, it comes from the liver, lungs and eyelids as well, all encased in a sheep's stomach and boiled to create our national dish of haggis. Scottish food is quite literally to die for. But in Scotland, we also have some of the most inventive dishes in the world. Think of dessert, and you don't immediately think to have a deep-fried heart attack washed down with a can of diabetes. Soft, gooey nougat wrapped in caramel and chocolate and deep-fried to within an inch of its life. The deep-fried Mars bar may sound disgusting and look revolting. Just wait till you've tried it. Cut!
Language.
Gaelic is the traditional language here in Scotland, although it's rarely spoken outside of communities rife with incest. Most people speak the Queen's English, if that is the Queen had a serious case of Tourette's. If a local does have problems understanding you, they may use one of the following phrases.
What's that all about?
What does that mean?
Want a square go, pal?
I challenge you to a duel.
Get to fuck.
On this occasion, you might be better off asking somebody else.
History. But most important of all to Scotland is its history. Here, near Stirling, you can visit the Wallace Monument, a tribute to the warrior Scot played by Jew-hating Mel Gibson in the Hollywood blockbuster Braveheart. A story full of lies, inaccuracies, and a hatred for the English. Something the SNP can relate to well. One of the most popular tactics of the Scots was to expose their arses to the world, a tradition still kept to this day. Of course, the very best way to see Scotland is to venture off the beaten path. The Highlands and Islands offer some of the most remote and peaceful places on earth. So pack yourself a warm scarf, pitch a tent, and pour yourself a wee dram, and somewhere in these beautiful and mysterious islands, you might just find your own little slice of heaven. Oh God. Can you get a signal? It's just fucking ridiculous.